Are you gonna copy me the whole time? All right, I think we're probably good at this point. All right, so the most requested question is, am I dating?
Am I dating?
Well, before I get into all that, we'll just wait till the end to address my thoughts on that whole thing. So, first question, how are Weston and I doing? I would say we're doing pretty well, right? How are you doing? Why don't you tell them?
I'm doing great.
Don't fall. Yeah, we're doing good. We have our bad days and our bad moments, I think, just like anyone else would. But overall, I would say we're doing well and have a lot of optimism for the future and what's to come. So, man, you're having fun, boy. Yeah, just I would say we're doing well with our low moments here and there, which is to be expected. So, man, you got some energy. This question is for Haley's cousin, just to make him happy. He asked me what my favorite northern Atlantic seabird is, and that would be a puffin. So that's for you, Andy. How did the whole Dr. Phil thing happen? Calm down, buddy. How did the whole Dr. Phil thing happen, and how was the Dr. Phil staff? Well, first off, the staff was incredible. They treated me and Weston like just amazingly. Hold on, buddy. Sit down. Yeah, so the staff was great. They treated us so well. I got to meet so many of them. Found out that majority of the staff had been following me from the beginning and literally would check on Haley's status every day in their meetings. It just blew me away. The whole thing happened, I did that podcast and really just, wanted to tell the story and just explain more details about things that had happened in the whole story. And so when that podcast came out, it did pretty well, and I think a lot of people watched it. And then Dr. Phil's teams saw it, and they were doing, bless you, buddy. They were doing an episode about grief and sharing your hardship publicly, and they asked if I wanted to be the guest. So got an email about that and talked to him on the phone, and it was pretty amazing. But what do you want to tell him? What do you want to tell him? Oh, you want to sing to them? He wants to sing.
So, God was off in this by now, 'cause
For
the Bible tells us so.
Yeah. That was a good song, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some. So yeah, that's how the whole Dr. Phil thing happened, and everybody keeps asking me when the Dr. Phil episode is airing. I don't know. Okay, that's fine. I have no idea, but I will promise I will tell you guys when. Where are you going? That I will tell everybody when it's going to air, but I will tell you need to download Merit Plus and set up an account. It's free, and then that's how you can stream it. It's totally free, but you got to use Merit Plus, the app, to watch it. But I promise, as soon as I know, all of you will know when the episode is airing. What is your workout schedule, days a week, type of cardio, etc.? I got a lot of questions about fitness and stuff, which is something I'm really passionate about. It's honestly saved my life. I use fitness and come sit, buddy. You sit. Come sit. I use fitness and, you know, I treat my body as a temple and I want to take good care of myself. I learned a lot from watching Haley go through what she went through and not having, you know, she didn't have a choice. She was given that body that had cancer. And there was a time in my life where I did not work on myself and I was focused on Haley and I was in a very bad headspace and was not eating right and taking care of myself and gained a lot of weight, and I was extremely depressed during that stage. And I can honestly tell you that for anybody going through grief or a tough time, I cannot stress to you enough. If you take care of yourself and you do positive things, exercise, eating right, good regimen, I promise you will see so many changes in your headspace that'll blow you away. I cannot preach that enough, and I'm very passionate about it, and I do plan on doing a video series about food prepping and working out and things I do. That's later in the year, but I do have a plan to post more videos about that. I think it'll benefit a lot of people struggling as well. What are you doing? Man, you love these live streams, don't you? You just love the attention, huh? What did Haley teach you about life, and what did she teach you about death? You know, that's a really good question, because I would say what she taught me about life is really that you only have one life. There's no reason to waste it. There's no reason to waste time over things that don't matter. And she really just taught me about living presently. People get so bent out of shape of something from the past or worrying about something way in the future. They're worrying about things they can't control, and they're taking up headspace of when you could be right now with your family, you know, enjoying a moment right in front of you. And you just have to, my mindset about life is just so differently now. And, you know, I even catch myself, you know, I'll be working in the yard and Weston's out playing, and I'll stop for a second and I'll just look at him and just in my mind say, what an incredible time that I get to stand here and watch him play. And, you know, just grateful for the moment that's happening right in front of me. And she taught me that for sure, and the meaning of life. And, you know, and so what did she teach me about death? Well, death is scary. I think it's scary for all of us. And I would say I'm a lot less scared of death. I am a man of faith. I believe that heaven is real, and that Jesus is real. And, you know, I've read a lot of books and listened to a lot of podcasts that talk about heaven or near-death experiences. And there's too much evidence out there that I know that it's real, and that I know Haley is in a place of peace, and she's healed and just experiencing an abundance of love that she's ever felt. And so I would say about what she's really shown me about death is that you don't need to be afraid of it. And as long as you have your heart in the right place, and that death is just your point of starting your new journey, your eternal life. And so pretty good lessons there. What is the best and worst thing to say to someone going through what Haley and I went through? This is a great question. You want to go watch your iPad? You want to say bye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
So you can watch your iPad over there, buddy. Just turn it down a little bit, okay? Okay, so what's the best and worst thing you can say to someone going through what we went through, or someone going through a hard time? This is a great question, because so many people don't know what to say, so they don't say anything at all, which is worse, in my opinion. I found that what meant a lot to me was when somebody would call me up or text me and be like, hey man, what you're going through is just not fair, and no one should ever have to go through that, and I'm just really sorry that you're having to deal with that right now, and it just sucks. So basically they would get down on how I feel. They would agree with my feelings even though they didn't ask me how I felt. You know, the typical, I'm praying for you, everything happens for a reason. Well, when you hear it 100,000 times, it really gets old. And I'm a man of faith. If you're praying for me, that's great. But typically, that's just an open, natural thing that we all say. I'm praying for you. Are you really praying for me, though? You know, kind of thing. So, you know, when people are going through a hardship now and I text them, or, you know, I can, you know, and even because of what I've been through, I try not to compare their hardship to mine. It's not fair to them, you know, and so I try to make it all about them, about their pain and what they're going through, and you know, just dealing with that, and I think that goes a long way when you can get down on somebody's level like that. Is being vulnerable online difficult? Yes, it can be. It's hard because the internet is such a cruel place that I've discovered. No matter what you do, there's someone that's going to hate what you do. And they're going to create rumors, they're going to make things up to destroy you. And you have to develop tough skin. And it's really sad we live in a time where people can be so hateful sometimes, like unbelievably hateful. And, you know, like, it's crazy. I could have come on here and said I cured cancer, and someone would comment and say, well, what took you so long?
Daddy, can't
So,
see something on my iPad.
what do you want? A picture?
No, like this.
No, we're not going to play any videos.
No.
Buddy, we'll do that another time, okay? I'm trying to answer some questions, okay? You want to just sit here with me? No?
Okay.
Well, the problem is if you play that video, they won't be able to see it very well is the problem.
Why?
It's just hard to stream it. But anyways, yes, being vulnerable online is, it is hard. And you'll laugh at this, but it's not posting to the hundreds of thousands of people. That's not hard for me. It's the people that I grew up with and my friends that that see what I post. That's hard for me. You know, because they're people I know and I grew up with, and it's being vulnerable in front of those people, that is what gives me anxiety, and that's what makes it difficult. But I have this large following now, so I have to think about that following and not the 1,500 people that followed me from high school. Hey buddy, can you turn that down? Yeah, that can be tricky. How has Weston helped me through the grief process? Weston is an amazing kid because his heart is so big. He has incredible compassion for a 5-year-old, just really in tune with people's feelings and how they're doing. And I'll give you an example. On Mother's Day, I opened a letter from Haley that she had left me to open. And he was playing over there with his toys. I was sitting right here in her chair. And I started crying. I mean, it broke me. It made me really sad, and I was crying. Without me ever saying Weston or calling his name, he comes running over here and he starts holding me and rubbing my back and singing a song to me to make me feel better. You know, I just don't know many 5-year-olds that do that. So he's just a really, really great kid, and He just has such a big heart. And that's, to be honest, that was Haley. Her heart was so big and infectious. Let's see. Have you had any signs from Haley? Well, ironically, like a week or two ago, I was in bed and I saw that my Nest camera notification went off that someone was in the living room. So I was like, well, that's weird. So that didn't really happen ever. And I checked the camera and there was a video of like an orb just going across the camera. It was very strange. You've probably seen videos of those orbs on, that people capture, but it was very distinct going across. So maybe it was her, I don't know. That's the only kind of supernatural thing that I've experienced. What has been the biggest adjustment not having Haley? That's an easy one. Being alone. She's been a part of my life since I was 15. I'm 32 now, and I don't like being alone. I like being alone, but very small amounts. And just not having a companion, not having somebody with me to do things with and to talk about things and to just watch a movie with, I miss that. That was me and Haley's favorite thing to do in the evenings, was get in our pajamas, watch a TV show or a movie. Let's see. Okay, this one kind of makes me mad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start being more vocal about this stuff. Why have you taken your wedding ring off? Not that I owe anyone an explanation about that, or that should give anyone, we're coming up on a year now. Like I was saying earlier, because of my fitness, I have lost 40 pounds. I was sitting literally at the table and I was holding my hand off the side and the ring literally fell off my finger onto the ground. So I don't think, I feel like I've been very respectful of keeping the ring on, and the ring doesn't really, that's a sign for all of people around me. That doesn't mean anything to me, that because I have my ring on, that, a ring is just a ring, but everyone around looks at it as, I get it. Oh, he took his ring off, he's ready to move forward. Well, it's not that way at all. I didn't want to lose it. The ring's been in our family for like 2 decades. It's been passed down. I didn't want to, it's literally in my safe. So, I just, seeing people argue about it and like get upset about it. At the end of the day, does it really matter? That I don't understand the big deal about that. And I gave a very honest response. I'm very honest on here. And I believe that being honest and authentic can go a long way in social media, because everyone seems to be fake on here. And I'm very upfront with everything and very honest. And I just feel that it was something that some people just have strong opinions about. There's a certain amount of time that you got to keep a ring on. I don't get that. So that ring coming off or staying on means nothing about my love for Haley. I will always love Haley, whether the ring's on my finger or not. So I just don't get that. This one. All right. A lot of people ask me about my career and my job. I'll try to make this quick. I don't like talking about this. All right, so I graduated from A&M in petroleum engineering, and I went to work for Halliburton. I live in the Houston area. Worked for them for almost a year, and then the oil market tanked. I got laid off there. Got a job with a company called Shawcor. I was an estimator, and I was there a few months, and that's when Haley got sick, and my life totally went off the rails. And worked there a little bit longer, but they ended up letting me go, probably because I just wasn't there very much. I was having to take so much time off to help Haley and go to New York and take care of her after her surgery. So that's, you know, two job losses there. Then I got a job in oil field sales, which I absolutely loved, and worked there for a while. I loved that job, made a lot of great friends, and was very happy there. They ended up merging with a company, and I ended up getting laid off again, so that's 3, all while Haley's sick. Found a new job a week later doing the same thing for another company, so I was very happy with how quickly I was able to bounce back. And that was, when I got that job, that was the beginning of 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. So COVID hits, and I get laid off for the 4th time, you know, by the age of 30, and trying to take care of Haley while she's sick. You know, a lot of people don't know the struggles that I went through mentally and emotionally. I mean, every guy wants to be successful in a career, and that happening is, it's embarrassing, and it was difficult for me. But, you know, when I got laid off that last time, the job market was so poor. And so Haley's dad, who has been successful in his career, said, just stay home with Weston and Haley, take care of him until the job market gets better. And, you know, I'll make sure that y'all are okay, and, you know, just live within your means. And so while we did that, I found a job in roofing. It paid okay. It wasn't great, but it was able to pay the bills, and I did that. And it allowed me to be at home and take care of Haley. And then around that time is when we found out we were out of options. And Haley's dad said, you know, we're gonna have to hire a full-time caregiver, you know, if you want to go back to work. He was like, or you just stay home, you put all your effort and time into Haley and taking care of her. I'll make sure that we have what we need, and that you are taken care of, and, you know, you just take care of my baby girl. That's what he said. And I said, I can do that. And I was so grateful to have every second that I did with her. And that, you know, during the time I was embarrassed because I didn't have the career that I wanted and to be successful, and everyone around me is, you know, successful. All my friends are, and everything about my life was just tanking, just constantly. And so, but looking back now, I'm so blessed that I had the ability to stay with her the entire time and make so many memories and deep conversations that we had, and memories with Weston. You know, I found that the hospice journey was was a very beautiful journey. It was hard, but very beautiful at the same time. And so I'm grateful for Haley's dad and everything he's done for me. But I guess that brings us to now. So the plan was, you know, obviously after she passed, was to, you know, pursue whatever career I wanted to do. I had a fresh start, but I didn't plan to have the following that I have online, and it's given me a new mission and a new a purpose. And so really what I've been doing is posting for you guys, and posting videos and content, and it's allowed me to pay the bills. People think that it pays a lot. It does not pay what you think, and it just allows me to pay the bills and have a little extra to live off of, and be home with Weston and be a full-time dad with him, and document and make videos. But my long-term goal is I love to motivate. I love to inspire. My plan is to become a speaker. I'm working on some things that I can't publicly talk about yet, but you will hear about them eventually. And I think they're going to be really big things for me and Weston, and that'll help push me into being a speaker. And, you know, what a blessing that the part of my life that was so hard will end up creating a really good life for me and Weston, and where I can be home with him and others help them in their grief and hardship. And so I'm just, that's what Haley said towards the end. She was like, if this falling can turn into something long term for you, I would love nothing more. Because she knew my love, for my passion for video making. I've always had that since I was little. So that's my whole job situation. I don't like talking about it, but now everybody knows. And so now I can have all the supportive people and then all the people that are going to judge. So that'll be fun to deal with. What is one trip that you are really looking forward to taking with Weston? Well, we're going to Estes Park like we do every year in the middle of June, so like a week and a half we're leaving. So yeah, I'll be in Colorado in Estes Park. I think we leave on the 16th or something like that. So yeah, I'll be there. So I'm looking. Weston and I love the mountains. Love the mountains. He asks me all the time, when are we going to the mountains? So it's almost time. How do you move on from the death of a loved one? Well, I think a lot of people do it in a different way. I think some people move on to another significant other quickly, and that works for them, and that's all great. Whatever works for that person is great. I hold no judgment. Some people tend to some negative habits that helps them, which I don't understand, but that's their life. What I find that helps me moving on, and I would say you don't really move on, you just learn to live with it. And I think that's the importance of doing positive habits, fitness, eating right, Bible study, good friends, family. And they always say that time is the ultimate healer. Well, I wouldn't say it's a healer. I have 16 years of memories with Haley. Well, after one day goes by after her passing, I now have 16 years of memories with Haley and one day of memories without her. And then as another day goes by, that's 2 days. So as each day goes by that you're without that loved one, you're making new memories that don't include that loved one. And that's why it takes so much time until you feel at least a little bit normal. And that's why I stress the importance of going out and living your life. You can't stay still. You've got to go do the things you love to do, be with the people you love, and the healing will happen because you're making those new memories without that loved one. What was my favorite thing about Haley? That's easy. Her heart. The most pure heart, loving heart I've ever encountered in any human being ever. And now my son has it because he got it from her. It's obvious. The most pure, genuine heart I cannot stress. And I think that's why the story went so viral, is I think people could feel her heart through the video. They could feel the love that she was giving off for people. What are you doing for the 1 year? That's an easy question. We're going up to the lake house, the family lake house on Lake Conroe. A bunch of friends and family, and we're going to just have a big celebration at the pool like she asked us to do, and to drink our gin and tonics and bump some music and celebrate that we've made it 1 year and we're all still making it, and that we will always love her. But that always made her happy, was being at the lake house. Is it hard to continue to live in the same home? No. This is how I explain this. Watching her pass away in front of me, literally in this chair. Sat right here and watched it happen. That's obviously a memory that will stick with me forever. And it's burned into my mind, but I also have 8 years of memories in this house that are good. So my good memories far outweigh the bad. And, you know, this was our home. I love this home. We built our family here. This was our family of three. And obviously everywhere I look, I see Haley. You know, I haven't changed anything in this house. Every picture is still in the exact spot. It's the same. So it's, you know, I love this house. Are there any songs that have helped you cope? I like listening to, when I'm in my feelings, I listen to a lot of Christian songs that talk about the goodness of God, the love that He has for us. You know, that always makes me feel better. And you know, I said this the other day, I'm not your average 32-year-old. You know, your average 32-year-old is driving down the street and he's thinking about, oh, I got to get home and I got to fix this and that, and I got to call this person and I got to do this and that, all the things he's got to do and worry about. That's not the way that I think. When I'm driving down the road, I'm thinking about what's the meaning of life. You know, I've been through so much that my thoughts are just so much deeper than the average 32-year-old. I just always thinking about what's my purpose and the love of Christ. Why did this happen? Why couldn't it have been prevented? You know, all these deep questions I have. And typically when I'm in the car, I listen to an artist. I use a lot of his songs on my videos. His name's Tony Anderson. And he makes a lot of like emotional, instrumental, beautiful music. And usually when I'm listening to that, I'm really questioning the meaning of life and really, you know, I'm kind of a philosopher, I guess you could say. So, yeah, you can check them out there, or Tony Anderson, he makes some really great music. All right, last question that everybody wants to know. Am I dating? Did Haley and I discuss me moving on? I'm a young 30-year-old. Of course, Haley and I discussed me moving on. It broke her heart to think of me dating somebody else, obviously, because we had dated since we were 15, but she understood that, you know, I'm a young man. She doesn't want me to live alone. She wants Weston to have a motherly figure. So, you know, am I dating? No, I'm not dating. And you can chalk up rumors, and there's parts of the internet that will stress that I am dating, and they start rumors. And, you know, honestly, I mean, I don't want sympathy from anybody. I don't look for that. I put myself in this situation by sharing the story. But by sharing the story and the love that people have for Haley, it's going to make it difficult for me to move forward because people are so loyal to Haley. And honestly, I feel bad. I feel terrible for the next woman, because whoever that is, they're going to go through hell because there are so many mean people. And that, you know, Haley is the best of them all, you know, of course, because she was my first wife and all my followers love her, and so no one's ever going to be good enough, you know, and I have to learn that I'm not replacing Haley. I'm just finding a new version of a wife it's not gonna be the same as Haley, and it's gonna be hard for me not to compare any woman that I go on a date with to Haley, you know, because she was perfect for me. And so, I don't know, I have a lot of stress. Honestly, it's brought me more stress than anything about how I'm going to handle this. And, you know, I'm very authentic on here. I'm very real on here. I share a lot on here. But I will be very private about anything dating. I'll tell you that right now. I will be very private about that. And, you know, I don't know when I'll be ready to do it. You know, and I think it's really pathetic and sad that there's all these people online that think they're the expert on when you're supposed to move on. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know when my heart's ready, you know? And so I think people just need to be respectful of whenever that time comes. And, you know, I don't know when it's going to come, but it's just amazing how everyone has these made up time in their head of when you're supposed to move on. And I think that people forget, because they haven't been in my position or in other people's positions that have lost somebody to cancer. There is so much grieving that is done before the loss. Like, you have to understand that. Like, it's not like we were happy, she goes out in a car accident, goes and has a car accident, and she's gone. That is a traumatic loss out of nowhere. That grief is going to be intense immediately. Well, I've known since I was 23 years old that she was going to die eventually. That's over 8 years that I've processed that she will pass away. And so there's been a lot of pre-grieving that's been done, especially in the hospice journey. And, you know, I've taken my time. I've been respectful of Haley's family and how they might feel. And you know, I don't know when that time's coming, but I'll figure it out eventually. But I am not dating anybody. I am lonely. So it's, but I'm trying to make sure that I grieve and take care of myself before I move to that step. And, you know, that step will happen eventually. So, I don't know, I had a lot to say about that because, you know, I don't read all the comments. I kind of peek in there. I try to stay out of them, honestly, because the mean ones are just ridiculous. And so I just felt that there's just so many people that think they know better than everybody else, and they have to share their opinion about when you're supposed to date or how you're supposed to handle this and that, and when you're supposed to take your ring off, you know. I don't know who died and made them God, so I've been holding this in for a while because it kind of upsets me. And, you know, like I said, I'm not looking for sympathy or for you to feel sorry for me. I'm the one that put myself in this position. So, you know, I've done it to myself. So it's gonna be a difficult journey, but I'm gonna handle it with as much grace as I can. And I just hope that all of you amazing supporters can be respectful and handle it with grace as well. I've been trying to be as respectful as I can. And so anyways, that was my last question. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to me answer them. And yeah, I'm going to try to do this every few months. So we'll do this again and kind of do a check-in, see where we're at. So anyways, like I always say, I'm thankful for all of you. I'm just so blessed to have all of your support and wanting to see more of Haley and Weston and myself. And I love that, and I love inspiring. So hopefully that maybe something I post inspires you to be a better mom or dad or husband, father, wife, whatever it is. I just hope that it inspires you to better yourself. And I have a lot of big things planned, so I think the rest of the year is going to be great. But anyways, thankful for all of you. Love all of you. You're great, and God bless you all. Y'all have a good night.